and welcome back to Oakley Hour and day 4 of our Old Time Valley movie, I was going to say, build. Yeah, so this is what we did for day 3. Let's get straight into day 4. And as you can see, we have a lot of parts to get through to finish off building 2. So let's make a start. Right, the first thing we are going to do, and you've seen me do this a million times, so I'm not going to put you through it, is cut these out and put them on the paper. The only one that I think needs really a mention is these ones here. The paper itself just goes up to the ridge, and then this one is left blank, so just bear that in mind. But everything else is there. So let me get these on and we can take it from there. Alright, I'm going to get and cut these out. Alright, just before I cut them out, I want to point out a few things. Make sure that this one goes on the right way because this one's bigger than the others. This, once I've cut it out, is going to have a strip on the side and folding over to the back there as well. So, just so that you are aware. It doesn't say to do that, but it is quite a bit bigger, so I'm assuming that's what's going down with it. These, they're obvious. This is a strip, so you just need to totally wrap it as far as you can. This one is just got to cut out the indentations and put it down to the sides on all sides. These you have to make sure that you have them the opposite way, and you're going to be pasting on the flat side the white area, and then those are going to go down, and I think these might be, that's just straight one, that one's just straight one. Alright, going to get and finish. Okay, why that strip was wider, this one, is because this one here, the plain one, and that one go on top of each other, and then you put the strip around, which is also why it doesn't have any strips going around the sides here. So, going to get and do all that. Alright, and that's it all cut out. So, only one I wasn't overly happy with, I need to wash my hands, was this one, really. A piece had got stuck in some glue on the top there, so I ended up needing a marker, and I'm probably going to need a marker on this edge too, but otherwise I'm quite happy. These ones, they have an overlap on the back, so make sure that you don't cut it off, and it does go back there, it is necessary. And there was another one like that. This one, the little stick basically has also an overlap on the back. Mine's not very crooked, straight even, so it is crooked, and then this one I think came out fine. So I'm going to go and put a marker on this one which needs it, and this one, and then we are ready to put some stuff together. Okay, first thing we are going to do is put in the windows. The one which we did yesterday with this is going to go in this one, that way round. It's going to go in there. This one will go here, this one up here, and whoops, sorry, hit the camera, then this one here. So let's get those popped in. I mean, they don't need that much wood glue. Let me get you back onto what we were doing, huh? There we go, how about that? That's a bit better. I also have you zoomed in, but I think you're probably fine. Don't need it everywhere, as long as you've got your main points really. Trying to put it in the wrong one. Okay, and this one at the bottom, and then we can put curtains in that we made yesterday. We'll be turning it over, put some curtains in, and then doing some more with this, and the other bottom one. Like I say, it doesn't need to be all over the show, just bits and pieces. And then this other one at the top. Interesting they got the different colours on this. I'm sure there's a reason that we will find out. We can find out together. Maybe they're separated. Alright, so now turn it over. like so. And we will be putting in our curtains, so I have to still trim these ones. We can put that top one in though, which goes on the right side here. And then this top one doesn't have anything going for it. So I want it to show mostly the green on the outside this time. Which might work. It's in just long enough. Okay, and then we're going to do the same with this across the top here and down. Let me get those trimmed in. I'm not sure why I'm still using wood glue. It'll work. That's because I've used it for the whole of today, haven't I? Okay, get my tool, cut these down. And again, I want it to mainly show the colour on the outside, so I'm going to put that this side. Actually, I'm going to put it that side so that the leftover wire bit, even though I did cut it, is there. And the same with this one, cut it down. No, this one's going to have to go that way because of the way the colour is. It will be fine. Okay, and then turn it over. Stay there. It's not going to stay. Okay. The glues win. Does this one need it too? It does. I think that one will be okay. My fault, just grabbing the first glue that was to hand. Okay, so I want it to just be showing more on the outside than the inside, so I don't have the same mistake as such that I had last time. And then we turn it over, make sure that we are happy. So it looks something like that. I think that's okay. That's a huge difference between the height of those wires. Just drop that one down a little. Maybe this way then. It's too red in comparison to the other one. You're not overly going to see it, so I'm messing around with something that probably is not as important. Okay, it's not too bad. And you can just about see this top one, not very well. Let's have that going over a bit more, like so. Alright, next we are going to put in the two sides. This one goes on this side, like so. Yep, so there's a gap at the top here, and we do that with the other side also. Let me go and wash my hands and we will get to it. Okay, first thing we are going to do is put this on and do it with wood glue because it has some manoeuvrability and we need it to be moving a bit. And going to also put some down the side here because we're going to be doing that panel and the other one as well. So it's going to be a bit away from the edge, so I've probably put the glue for the front here too far forward. So let me get that off actually. Just make sure it's the paper that you've done that is on the edge. Get this, be better. And in fact I'm going to just put it on the bottom of here, would be easier. Okay, so you want it a bit forward. Trying to see that's what we want to do. I would say that we could just let that go, but we really can't. So then you want these two sides with, oh, don't hit it with these parts facing forward. So you're going to put glue. This is going to marry up, so basically back here. I'm going to put a bit on the bottom as well. I'd love to do this lying down, but with the lips and things like that, you're not going to be able to. And of course that's my microwave going off. So you want it something like so, but even. And then the same with the other big side. And then I'll square it all up. Just going to pop glue on here. And again on the bottom. So it'll be something like so. It's a bit more forward. Dang it. Basically you want it on the edge of the bit you brought forward. You want the wall on the edge of the sticking over piece. Of course. We didn't really think it was going to work straight away, did we? And I can see that this side needs pushing back. And you want to even with these two sides at the front where where this ends. I'm not sure of an easier way to do this, by the way. You want these marrying. You'll see that this is quite a bit out here. Maybe we can lie it down. Don't be silly. Of course we can't lie it down. Maybe I should just put the ends on, forget about you for a minute, and do it that way. Because we know it's going to marry up at the back. Like so. And then because it's wood glue, we'll have a bit of playability to give it some ease. Maybe that's the easiest way. In fact, even better than that, maybe if I can get this far, for them to hold. Oh goodness, give me 1 second, patience. Alright, something like that. I'm going to leave it a minute or two so it doesn't fully take, but takes so that it can be handled a little bit. Then I will pop the house into it and get this strip, which is going to go over there. I'm actually tempted to put it in first because I give the house a little bit more support, maybe that's what I should do. Just give it a little bit of glue on the end, and then we can pop the house through from the back, because it'll have a little bit of manoeuvrability. But at least this will kind of square it up where it needs to be. Too much. Okay, almost there. Again, I'm not going to leave it long, just a minute or two. And then put the house through. And I think we'll be okay. And if it's a terrible idea, you know me, I will let you know. Okay, let's see how well this worked. Okay, it's holding together. That's what we want. So I'm thinking we're going to need a little bit on the front. Just going to need it on the sides, aren't we? and the bottom. Trying to look where it's going to need this. And obviously we want it the right way around. You should never say obviously. Things are not always obvious when it's obviously. This may need to stick out more. Trying to gauge from the picture. Yeah. Okay. So let's squeeze it in here. That's okay. And all we have to do is push it into spot, and we should be okay. So I think, famous last words, but I think it's something like that. I think. From the best that I could tell. And that actually worked out to be quite well. Like I say, don't let your glue fully dry, so it's got a little bit of movement. Push that forward a little bit more. I think it was a better way of doing it, personally. Right, and then we will put on our stick, which goes at the front in the middle of the windows. And it wants us to stick on the furniture, but I'm going to do a couple of other things before then. So I guess this is why it has different colour windows. Because why not, right? It's going to be more, not that way, but more towards there. Well, it does have it showing that all the silver is this side, so I guess it is right. Because I'm looking from this side, and you know, you've still got a little bit of oops. Don't push too hard, obviously. Still got a bit of paper going, is what I was trying to say. So a little bit more the other way. So maybe 2 squares. Or 3 for the bottom one, 2 for the top. Now to make it square, what do we think? Kind of looks alright, doesn't it? Not so sure how much of my wood glue's left after me playing around with it. Okay, and that's pretty even. And then what we're going to do is put the top on. And I can see it's not forward enough here. You can see there's quite a gap there. So I will sort that out at the same time. And then you're meant to put furniture in next. However, of course I'm not going to do that. I am actually going to put a washing line on first while it's flattish. Not that it makes, to be honest with you, that much difference, but it makes some. Okay, and this goes in here. And that's how we're looking. So this is the only one that's really, really loose. So I'm going to pop some more glue on here. You'd think it would go all the way around all of it, this piece, but maybe the way it's viewed is just from the other side. So I'm going to use the squares. I'm going to do 2. Oops, the roof just fell off. And I want it up the other way anyway. All of it. Well, how can you struggle so much with one piece of wood? I don't know why it doesn't go all the way down. Doesn't make any sense to me. But this is the way they have it. Let's get this back on. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how much you saw of that. Wouldn't be the first time, eh? But we're almost done with this. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to get this a bit more even. think I want it over one more. That's why the wood glue keeps running out. And I have to redo it. It's because I keep changing my mind on where I want the pesky thing. Okay. I'm going to leave it like that. Yeah. Had to think about it, but yeah. Okay. I think the house was a little bit out again from the front there. Doesn't want to stay there, does it? So it was pushed in again and it worked fine. Alright, I'm going to leave that to dry. Sort the puppies out and I will be back. Shall I show you a quick glimpse of Juliet? Let me do that. I'll be back in a mo for you. Okay, what we are going to do next is put on the eaves, which is silver paper. I can't even see that, which is for the small windows here, and then the grey corrugated eaves for the Happiness Lane, this one, and the Youth Studio. Actually, it's both of them Youth Studio, I lied. And cut these two out, which are going to go above the big one. And the reason why I'm delaying on this, I will show you in a moment. Okay, so the thinner ones, the little silver ones, are going to go on here, and they say to fold them first. It doesn't say how much to fold them. So I'm going to put those in, and I'm going to put this little one in down at the bottom here, the narrower one. The wider one I'm just going to hold off for a moment because we have to do something with this. This is the clothesline and we have to put some fabric on it, so I'm going to knock that out and then attach it to the wider one and then put it on the house, and then we will do the balconies from here. Alright, and that's where we have... I actually am using super glue for this. I'm not using B7000. I think it kind of just needs to stay where it is. Right, let me get and do this clothesline and I will be back. Right, while my clothesline is drying, I'm going to put these two in. They go at the back of the house, and you have your barrel, not even sure really what it is, and also, and they're like really close, like that you can see them from the window. So you have this on this side. Oh, don't know where I've put my tweezers. Did have them, sorry, I keep hitting the camera. This is the third time I've hit it, I think. See what that... You're not going to see the picture, are you? Let's see if I can get that better position. I don't know where my tweezers are, because I would be using them. Like that, I guess. And the thing is, the barrel just really is not going to be seen. Maybe I should put the barrel upstairs. What do you think? Just have it glued to the window. And this is the problem. And they make it look like you've got a much, like it's a much bigger window than what it is. What can you see? Well, I guess we could have it that it doesn't show the picture at all, which is kind of how they have it, which was, we made the picture because, what reason? I guess we could do that. I thought the picture was quite nice, really. And then you can have this barrel that we don't know what it's for. Can't overly see it, but it's there. We've done what it's meant to do, and I'm just going to hold those like that for a bit. Right, and I'll be back when this is taken up. Okay, so I moved the curtains actually out the way at the bottom, so then you can see a little bit more, I think. Right, this is okay to go on, so it goes around that the quilt is on this side of the window. So again, just going to do it with a bit of super glue all the way across. I'm running a little bit on the sides here to give it some support, and it will be something like it comes off. That's what it's going to be. It seemed like a really good idea at the time to do it off the model. Alright, bear with me, pups. Alright guys, I ended up using tacky glue actually. I couldn't really get super glue to do what I wanted it to do. It will dry clear. There's me trying to get it off. It will dry clear. I will leave it. When this is dry, then we have to put on our little coat hangers that we made yesterday. So I will do that off camera, and we will start work on the banisters, or the balconies, which is with this wire. And then I will put them on. They kind of get you to put the balcony on first and then do all the wiring, but I think we'd do it first. Sounds like a better plan. So let me get that started. Alright, so you have a template here to do your wires on. I've only done this one so far. This one is going to stick with the brown corrugated up. They're all going to be on the brown corrugated up actually. So it goes across there. Then we have to cut a few strips. It doesn't tell you how many for this that I can see, but it tells you to do, let's see, 6 pieces on these two. So I am going to get those done and let you have a look afterwards. And I think it's just going to be easier. You can see I haven't stuck those on yet. Easier to do it with it off and then attach the whole thing to the house with either tacky or super glue, either one. Alright, I did video it, but unfortunately my electric had blipped and I lost what I videoed. So what I did was I put this one on, put the 2 plants on. That one I made. This one I made too, but I thought I had one from yesterday, so I might still find it, but it was gone. So they're ready to go on the house. These are both done. I ended up doing 5, not 6. They're definitely not perfect. And what I did was I put the bottom one on like I said I was going to do, and then I put one on each end and then one in the middle, and I attached the top rail, and then once they were pretty much dry, well, really were dry, then I attached the other 2. I ended up cutting out more because I might as well go over and attach them that way. They don't look great, but they are done. I also put the rail on the top of our house, and now I'm going to attach these. So let's get that done. Let's move these out the way. Oh, sorry, neighbours talking really loud. And we can get this finished up and hopefully in place today. I was hoping to move on to the building 3, which is a grocery store, but I just don't think we're going to. So there's one wider than the other one. I think the wider one is the top one. Sorry, hit the camera. So I'm going to get these in, and I am going to use super glue for it. So I'm going to put this bottom one on first. You can see I put the clothes on that thing here too. So I'm going to put this one on first. That bead that they get you to use for it, for that second plant, is bigger than the rail. So, and I'm going to have this one. It says to do it at the bottom of the window. Blink. I just have to get rid of the clothes a minute. Let me hold those up out the way so they don't get caught. Don't want that. Okay, and like I said, there's a wider one and a thinner one. I think I'll put the wider one up here. It's definitely not perfect. I will go with that. So something like so. I'm just going to go with, you're probably not going to see it. And the clothes need to be on the inside, and this is probably why the coat hangers needed to be smaller, I'd imagine. I think I'm just going to have mine a bit lower down, you know. Try and get it off me. Right, let's sort this little problem out. Right, stay there, guys. Right, I'm just going to stick it on the rail itself. I'm just going to have it a bit lower down. Yeah, my whole thing blipped and then my computer gave me the blue screen of death. I was in a panic mode for a moment. And it's definitely not going to be perfect, but it is on. And then I'll sort out the clothes afterwards. And I'll do the same with this one and leave them to sit there for a moment. I don't even think these top rails are reaching the walls at all, really. Well, this one's definitely not. I'm going to stick to it now, you watch. It's a messy job. If you don't do this part and you're doing this build, I'm not going to blame you whatsoever. It was ridiculously difficult. Right, so all that's left is to put a few things on this balcony. I just have to put a towel on it, which we had over, and I had the pot a moment ago. I will go and find it. Oh, actually, we haven't even cut it out yet, so got to cut this towel out, and that goes over this one. But I don't think it's going to be seen with everything else that we've got going on. And the other thing we've got to make is a hat, which sits on this one out of string. So I will try and do that. My patience is probably a bit thin right now because of the electric blip, and you know how that kind of messes with your head. So let's get this towel cut out at least. I will get that cut out, but like I say, there's probably not a big deal as to whether it goes on or not. I don't think you're really going to see much of it. So this is for the top rail, but I'm going to give it time to stick. And while that's doing that, so it's actually on the back of, no it's not, it came off. Huh. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's over here. It's still attached to the rest of the fabric. I haven't cut all the way through. The paper came off there. Right, so, sorry, puppy, being noisy, wanting stuff that she's probably not meant to have. Right, last thing we are going to make, and then we'll get this on the back wall, because I'm trying not to make these long videos, but I don't know, is you need to have 20 centimetres of this, it says. So it says to glue it, I'm going to use tacky because that kind of works quite well with this sort of thing. Basically we're making a straw hat, so I'm going to just get this going. And then we will see how we do. I reckon we should have one of these. What do you think? It doesn't say to separate it. Anyway, this is the top part, evidently. You go around a couple of times, like so. I can get my tweezers out. And if I don't do this, I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so you've got the top part as such, and then we're going to do the brim. I mean, possibly you might want to single out this rope so it goes round the outside like so, and hold that together, and it kind of looks like that. I'm not holding my breath on this at all. And that just sits on here, which it's probably got enough glue on that it's just going to do that. And this is kind of what it looks like. I'm not overly excited, but it is kind of done. If I can get it there. I was thinking it doesn't need more glue, but I actually don't know so much. Kind of looks like a hat, right? Sort of. I mean, we can pretend. Yeah, I never said I was perfect at doing this stuff. Alright, and lastly, just need to put this towel on. So I think I'm going to put it where the clothes, well, we can drop the clothes probably behind now. It's just that jean jacket and the, well, my balcony's really far down, isn't it? Okay, well, I don't know what to do about that. I don't think I could do much. And I can have it up more. Oh, outside. I'll play with it and get it maybe up a bit more. But let's put this towel on. So what I'm going to do, my tweezers desperately need a clean, is put it in here and fold it over like so. Right, leave that with me, and I'm going to play with this balcony too while I can get it right under my eyes. Okay, it's going to be minus a balcony. I can't mess with it any more than I was, and I decided to give up hope. So what they do to hang out their clothes is very simple. They just open their windows and they hang their clothes out, and that's fine. This one's in, which is fine, and that's my little hat. It doesn't look as good a hat as theirs, but it kind of looks like a hat. It's not terrible. And then they have these balancing on their window anyway, so it makes sense for that one not to have balconies. So it's just not having one. Towel and all can go away. Right, let me get this on the house. That's the next stage, and then we will call it for today. Okay, and what we're going to do is just glue the back of this and glue it on there. Going to have two lights behind it, which is pretty cool. Let me get my wood glue to hand. And we'll get this glued in. I don't think the balcony's going to touch the back wall actually. After me putting glue, I just put glue on it. I know you can't see what I'm doing. All you do is see my hands straight in front of the screen anyway. And put a little bit on the base I am. And on the wall, which is going to attach to here. Not as high up as I needed though. Needed it a lot lower down. Get rid of that. Alright, so let's get that in there. This is what it'll look like. Shame it didn't have the grey on the bottom, wouldn't it? It made more sense. I bet it would. Maybe I put it on the wrong way. So if you do this, this build, I suggest putting the grey for the bottom because it's going to show through. I might very well just get a marker for it. There again, unless somebody's at this angle, which is unlikely because you're going to be really at the angle which is where it's upright, you probably won't see it. So let's have a quick look. My glue's giving me a hassle anyway. Let me zoom you out. Got the remote somewhere. Got tools all over the place. I have to be honest with you, that was a little bit of a nightmare. And that's kind of how it's looking. It looks alright, doesn't it? So we go it like this on the floor in base and go all the way up there. It looks pretty good. Right, next we have coming up. So let me get you zoomed back in. I have rock over there. That's what this is. My sister put it for me. She went away somewhere and she brought me home some rock. I haven't had rock in forever. That said, I can't say that I'm a strong lover of rock really, but you know, I haven't had it since I was a kid, so maybe I would like it all of a sudden. Alright, so tomorrow we will start on building number 3, which is the grocery store. I have to say it is really in-depth. It is lots of sweets and candies and pots, and it's 2 reasonable sized buildings. One is the cabinet, it's called, which has a lot of sweets and jars on it and packets. And then we also have a glass cabinet to do, and that's quite a bit, and then some boxes and bits and pieces in front of them to go on this side. So, but it's only going to be one level, but there's just a lot involved in it. Alrighty, anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. It is rather an in-depth build. Like you can see, there's a lot of it you're just not going to see. I'm actually really quite happy with how my clothes turned out here to be hanging up. I think I did all right on that. I think this is okay. It looks messy. I'll probably get some sort of marker to it if it dries like that. If not, I might just pick it at it with tweezers once they're all dried off. At the moment they look quite a pickle, so it's just wait for it to dry properly, and then I'll probably play with it a little bit. So, like I say, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for day 5. We knew this one wasn't going to be a quick one. Maybe I'll put a poll on my channel at some point for you to choose which model you would like next. Favourite wins, of course. Because I've got, I think, about 3 or 4 left currently before I have to get any more. Can't remember how many. I can't remember what they are. One's a marble run, I know that. Yeah, do like and subscribe, and most of all, do take care of yourselves. That is what matters, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you for all your support. Take care. Bye.